You just be hooked up on these pompous words and see that at the end the world is just the way as it is. Pompous words, you say? Man, history has proved that. All right, history has proven that, granted. But tell me, if the nationalization of oil in a country is inevitable according to history, does that have to just happen in the South? I slow down so I can hear what they say. You wouldn't have said that if you had a Marxist worldview. The voices rise. What do you mean by that? Why shouldn't the oil be nationalized in the North as well? What does that have to do with Marxist worldview? They're school kids. Their talk and use of words are beyond me. I can't make out a thing. I walk on. Morshid's tea house is crammed with people. The sound of the radio has dropped. The customers have gathered around a young man. They sit snug against each other so quietly, you'd swear they aren't breathing. The young man is reading aloud from a newspaper. I wait and listen for a few moments. This is the cry of 20 million plundered people who have risen gallantly to cut off the hands of a bunch of bandits. This is the righteous cry of 20 million honorable people who, for years and years, have carried the burden of colonialism on their wounded shoulders. This is the irreconcilable cry of the unwavering combatants that shudders. I must go and buy injections. I speed up my steps. All the walls are scribbled in many different colors. In blue, purple, red, and black. We want bread instead of cannon. Peace is victorious. Hands of plunderers and colonialists off our land. Pahlavi Street is more crowded than ever. I walk up toward the pharmacy. I stride and cut the words as I pass by. Maybe economic sanctions. Even the world, even. You don't know what a precious piece it was. Only through union and alliance. I punch him in the mouth so that his teeth. Being to this extent leftist is dangerous. Everyone has turned into a ball of fire. You think they stay quiet? Somebody steps on my foot. I spun around and glare in his face. Watch your step, man. He smiles and hands me a leaflet. By the time I reach the pharmacy, I have 3 other leaflets. It's crowded inside the pharmacy. The customers are waiting their turns in line. Some are sitting and reading newspaper. Some are gathered around each other and talking amongst themselves. Suppose we kicked the British out. An impossible hypothesis. Granted, but I just want to know, on what vessels can we carry the oil to the other countries? A tall man, who is also stocky, says, "You're troubled by this? You think this is a small problem?" The tall man says, "Rest assured that in order for the Westerners to leave our country, the Easterners will do anything to help." A middle-aged man interrupts him. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. "The fire?" says the stocky man. His eyes become smaller and look surprised. "Of course, good man. Colonialism is colonialism. It doesn't matter whether it's black or white." The stocky man lights a cigarette. "You're way off track, brother." The middle-aged man, dressed in ironed clothes, and his hair sleeked back carefully, says, "What difference does it make in your opinion?" The fat man takes a drag of his cigarette. Once a government is capable to do away with the exploitation of an individual by another individual, rest assured that it will be able to solve the problem of plunderer and colonialism, because colonialism has its root in the exploitation of individuals by individuals. I get the injection medications and head out of the pharmacy. It's like all the people of the town have left their houses only to come out and gather on Pahlavi Street. A small-framed young man weaves speedily through people, handing out pamphlets. Following him, 2 others are snatching the pamphlets out of people's hands. The front of Mojad's bookstore is jam-packed with people. Maybe the new edition of Najal Balagay has just arrived. I wave a hand at Shafak. He smiles and waves back. I turn from Pahlavi Street into Timsur Street. An elderly man, his leg pants rolled up, holding a pail of water and using a ball of meshed wire, curses as he scrubs the paint off his newly built walls. "Sons of bitches," he grumbles. "They think that they can kick the British out like this. Look how filthy they have made this wall. The plaster's not even dried yet." 2 young men, holding newspapers under their arms, mess with him. "Hey uncle, why don't you just guard it at night so no one dared to do this again?" The man loses it and curses. "It's the doing of sissies like you. It's not like you have paid for a mason's wages, or paid 100 tomans per 1,000 bricks. The youths laugh out loud and tease him again. A little further down, a few people are gathered in front of a bread bakery. The radio is at full blast. The radio host with his gruff voice puts on such a show. From here, there's no more asphalt. The ground everywhere is muddy from the rain of the past few days, which poured and beat down on the town and its vicinity. I stride along the wall. I slip a few times. I reach Mehdi the grocer's shop. A few people are standing in front of the shop. The radio host is tearing his throat as he shouts. Hassani is standing in front of the house door. His eyes are clammy. His nose is runny. He's shivering from cold. He has wrapped himself in his father's old short jacket. I show him the needles. A smile appears on his chapped lips. He chirps, "Where did you get the money?" I tell him how. He becomes sad. I tap him on the shoulder. "Not to worry. I can buy pigeons again. Let's get going. You should go to Aliaka and get to your shots every day for a week." Mashrahim has gone to mosque. Hassani pulls up the heels of his shoes, and we take off. If you drop a needle in Aman Aka's tea house, rest assured it would not hit the floor. The place is crammed with people. Everyone expects to hear the most current news any minute. They sit in groups, talking and discussing. The words are muddled up. It's warm inside the tea house. The smoke of cigarettes and water pipes has thickened the air. From the east side window, I can see gas flames rising and falling. It's cloudy. The flames are a striking orange color. Spider is in such ecstasy. He's on a go. I hear someone calling me. "Khaled, one water pipe." I walk to where the bowl of soaked tobaccos are. The singing coming from the radio cuts off abruptly. And at that, all the patrons' noises fall silent too, as if no one is in the tea house. "Spider, stop making noises with those cups." The boisterous voice of the radio announcer bursts out. He calls people's attention to hear an important piece of news. These days, everyone is thirsty for news. What's the recent news? Have you heard what the Prime Minister said? They say that the British have given a warning. Breaths are held up in lungs. Eyelashes are unmoved. The looks are locked into one another. The radio announcer's voice rises. All breathe out suddenly. The shouts are muddled. The Prime Minister has been shot down. He said where? At a funeral service. Didn't you hear? At Shah's mosque. Finally, they got him. Well, he was hard-headed. Khaled, we're holding a meeting on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Where? Bidar gives the address. Everything is new to me. I have opened my eyes to a new world. Now, from the sort of things I hear, I can grasp why the life of the destitute worsens each day, and why people like my father have to pack up their bundles and go from this foreign country to another in search of work so that they can earn a petty sum of money. I head out of the meeting, thinking about the things I have heard. There are things that I cannot make sense of. I try to keep them in mind so I can ask Bidar when I see him. Or if I don't get to see him, I'll remind myself to ask him in the next meeting. But this town is so small that we run into each other a good 2 or 3 times a day. Khaled, come to Shelab's stand at 8:30. I show up there at 8:30. He hands me the bundle of pamphlets, and together we walk toward the neighborhood where I'm assigned to throw them inside the houses. Khaled, Friday morning, bring your lunch. We're going out for an excursion. Friday morning, I pick up my bundle of lunch and take off. Sometimes we're more than 150 people. Most of them ride their bikes. I get a ride in front of one of them. We head out of town. We ride up to one of the villages nearby, like Shekare, Dagagele, or Zargan, and unpack our stuff on the grass. The shades of the trees are blissful. The smell of the grass is delightful. We play with boiled eggs. I become the champ among 60 people. They applaud me. I am on cloud 9, elated and joyful. They lift me up on their arms. Everyone sits around each other in groups and begin discussing things. I listen to what they say. I make new friends. I like what I hear. As if these are words taken out of my mouth, the words that I had kept in my heart and wanted to express for years but couldn't. I feel relieved. At noon, we gather around each other, set out whatever food we have, and share it with others. For only the little bit of omelet eggs I have brought with me, I am offered 10 different kinds of other foods in return, a bite from each meal. We drink tea. Afterwards, I head out with some of the older and more informed guys to the villages nearby, to the orchards and farms, and they begin talking to the villagers. I listen to what they say. They talk about the lands on which the villagers have to work their lives away for the landlords. They talk about the petty portion the farmer gets annually. They talk about the village children who don't have a school. They talk about proper hygiene, medicine, and the partition of the land. At sunset, together, we head off for town. We arrive home at night. I feel happy and content. I let myself fall asleep as I think about all the things I have heard during the day. Khaled, come to Statue Square tomorrow at 10. The cold has broken. Sometimes clouds gather up in the sky, but yet it won't rain.